one key, okay, shared both by the and if this key is disclosed, communications are compromised. Okay, so the most important thing in the private key cryptography is that we are using a single key, and the single key is shared by both the sender and receiver. Now, for this moment, let us keep this question aside, how the key is shared, because we have seen that key sharing is also a problem. Okay, so if at all this key is disclosed, okay, the communications that are happening using this particular key gets compromised. Now, this private key cryptography is also called as symmetric. Parties are equal, okay, hence does not protect sender from receiver forging a message and claiming is sent by sender. Okay, so now moving ahead, it was in when Diffie-Hellman, okay, first proposed this concept. So probably most significant advance in the 3,000-year history of cryptography is using two keys, which are called as the public key and the private key. So symmetric, since parties are not equal, okay, this particular key is called as symmetric also. It is called as modern also. And why is it so? Because there are two different keys that are used. Okay, so uses clever application of number of theoretic concepts to function, complements rather than replace private key crypto. Okay, so now the most important question, then why was the need of this public key cryptography? Okay, uh, we were doing encryption, we were doing decryption, right? Then what was the need for this public key cryptography? So public key cryptography was developed to address two key issues. Okay, so what were the two key issues for which it was developed? So key distribution, the first, like as I said, key, how to send the key to the receiver or how the sender should send it. Okay, so first issue why the public key cryptography came into picture was the distribution of the keys. Okay, that is how to have a secure communication in general without having to trust a KDC with your key. Further, the digital signatures. How to verify a message comes intact from the claim sender. So, what is the guarantee that I am, what is, in fact, now I take this question other way around. What is the guarantee that the ones who I see over here with your roll numbers, okay, logged in, are those persons only logged in? First question, are those persons really there? And is that not someone who is having their cell phones and the login details have joined in the session? This can happen. You have seen this Munna Bhai MBBS. You have seen n number of issues that happen with masquerading identities, right? So, what is the guarantee? There is no guarantee. Okay, people forge identity, people fake, forget about that. If you remember, in our college itself, once upon a time there was one student who sat with the wrong identity for examination, and that case was taken. So if you remember, it was very difficult. Now, the faculty was from the same college, the students were from the same college, and they were knowing that. Therefore, that students, both of them, could be easily identified and handed over. A proper case was registered. Okay, so this is how it happens in real, and it is still more difficult in real time. Okay, so key distribution and digital signatures are the two issues which are to be handled or addressed using public key cryptography. Okay, public invention due to Whitefield, Diffie, and Martin Hellman in Stanford University in 1976. Okay, it's known earlier as classified community. So the most important thing is This was a public invention, okay, because it was something that was acceptable publicly in 1976. We have already seen that, and it is proposed by Diffie Hellman. So Diffie is one person and Hellman is another person. So why this public key cryptography? Again, to address two important issues, there can be an MCQ. So while public key cryptography was developed to address two issues: key distribution, digital signatures, true or false, or pick which of those issues was public key cryptography designed for. So it is only these two issues. Okay. Now moving ahead. So public key cryptography, it is with the two keys. It is with asymmetric key cryptography, involves the use of two keys, a public key and a private key. So public key, which may be known by anybody and can be used to encrypt the message and verify the signatures. So all the students need to kindly remember that the public key, as the name suggests, is public and it is known to anybody, and this is used to encrypt the message and verify signatures. Okay, so private key known only to the recipient and it is used to decrypt the message, sign, create signatures. Okay, so remember that if it is a private key known to both sender and recipient and used to encrypt messages, is it true or false? It is false. Private key is used only to decrypt a message. Okay, it is not used to encrypt a message. So public key is known to anybody, private key is known only to the recipient, used to decrypt message. Okay, so in asymmetric, because those who encrypt the message or verify signatures cannot decrypt message or create signatures. Is that clear? Now, just take an overview of public key cryptography. So there is an encryption algorithm. So today we are in this session, we are just going to get ourselves introduced to what is RSA and the working of it we will see tomorrow. Okay, so this is the scenario of encryption and decryption of public key cryptography. So when we say public key cryptography, there will be n number of people who want to communicate. So here for encryption, if you see, these are the keys, okay, of different users which are kept in a public ring. Okay, so whenever this person, Alice, okay, is here and you have Alice here also, okay, means the message is for Alice. Now, public key, obviously when there are people involved, every person will be having his private key and will be having his public key. So if at all, Alice is the person, so what will Alice do? Alice will keep his public key in the public key ring and Alice will keep his private key private with him. Okay, so if you see here, Alice is having his private key which is kept private over here and his public key is kept in this public ring. Okay. Now, whenever anyone wants to send the message to Alice, what will they do? They will pick up this public key, this plain text, they will encrypt using Alice public key. They will use an algorithm. Now we will talk about this. Obviously, there has to be an encryption algorithm. So here the encryption algorithm that is being taken is RSA. So I ask you, can DES algorithm, which we have studied in the previous lecture, be used here? So no. So DES cannot be used here because DES is a symmetric key cryptography algorithm, whereas RSA is a public key cryptography algorithm. Okay. So here if you look, okay, here if you look, this particular is encrypted using this RSA algorithm. It is transmitted. Okay. Now, Alice private key is used for encryption, and then the plain text is obtained. Okay. So public key algorithms rely on two keys where it is computationally infeasible to find decryption key knowing only algorithm and encryption key. It is computationally easy to encrypt decrypt messages when the relevant key is known. Either of the two related keys can be used for encryption with the other used for decryption. Okay. So public key applications basically can be classified using into these three categories: encryption, decryption, digital signatures, and key exchange. Okay. So just a most important thing over here. So security of public key schemes like private key schemes, brute force, exhaustive search attacks is always theoretically possible. Now the question comes to your mind is, yes, we have studied DES and we have seen that it is susceptible to brute force attacks. Okay. So what about this? Yes, even this is susceptible to attack. Only the difference is here the time takes is more. Okay, security relies on a large enough difference in difficulty between easy and hard problems. Okay, requires the use of a very large number, hence it's low. Okay, so the thing here is now we will be introducing just in today's lecture what is RSA. Okay, so RSA, as we have seen DES algorithm in the previous lecture, that is a symmetric key algorithm. Here, this RSA as this acronym is given because of the people who have developed it. That is Rivest, Shamir, and Adelman. Okay, of MIT in 1977. So in 1977, Ron Rivest, Adi Shamir, and Adelman of MIT have proposed this RS algorithm. This is the best known and widely used public key scheme based on exponentiation in finite. Okay, so here the way they produce this public key and private key is quite interesting. That how it works we will see in the next lecture. So I will be giving you one document which talks about how RSA works, and there is some mathematics involved in it. So before coming to the next lecture, I want you all to just know how the prime and co-prime numbers work. Okay. I hope you all have got just an overview of the public key cryptography algorithms, and you all have just got introduced. Like there will now be no confusion if I ask you DES is the symmetric key cryptography algorithm, and if I ask you RSA, so you should be able to tell that RSA is a symmetric key or symmetric key cryptography algorithm. That is modern cryptography, public key cryptography algorithm. Okay. So more about it we'll see in tomorrow's lecture. So thank you, dear students.